Going to talk to Owen now about dresses. Owen, you coming to talk about the dresses? No, you're not. Okay, Owen is going to leave. Hi, Catherine.
Morning, Damien. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Great. Something a little bit more light-hearted.
I don't know. If you want to talk about the history of republicanism, we can talk about that. There's no problem whatsoever. Thanks. Are you sure? We might get into it, No, we can talk about the North Keys. We can talk about the Southern Assembly Plan. No. I want to talk about the new arms race. I want to talk about winning an Oscar is the ultimate prize, but sleeveless gowns reveal another kind of battleground, and only the toughest regime secures bragging rights.
Now, there you go.
There you go. Does that sound good?
It sounds amazing.
Catherine Keighery, thanks very much. You are proprietor of Red Lane in Tramore.
I am indeed.
And you have not only a retail business, but you have a very successful online business.
We have, yes. We've moved with the times. It's actually very busy online now, but definitely the stores are bread and butter. It's, where our heart is, within the community of Tramore, and serving these women who wants to cover their arms.
In terms of something such as the Oscars or a big events where styles develop in different ways and dresses are put out there, does it affect your sales? Does it? Do some women go online and say, I wonder, is there a dress that looks like that? Or do you look at the dresses and say, we might have a supplier that might have something like that?
Well, to be honest with you, on Sunday night I was glued to the election. It wasn't on, I think Liz put out a tweet that they were watching the Oscars as well, that I remembered they were even on, to be honest with you. I was over in London buying at the weekend, coincidentally, so thanks very much for your coverage of the elections for all of those of us who are out of the country.
So what do? You go to different shows and you actually buy dresses?
Yes, I cast my vote on Saturday morning. I got on a rocky flight to London and I was over at a trade show which has traditionally been, probably the biggest, probably within Europe for the last definitely 15 years that I've been in business, but it was dead.
Really?
It was dead, yeah, it was absolutely dead. I think we'd definitely be going farther afield from here on.
Is that a Brexit thing, do you think?
I think it could be.
Yeah.
Now, there were a lot of flights cancelled. There was a lot of trains cancelled in England. There's always an excuse for the last couple of years, but to be honest with you, the big brands weren't there. I think they're all shifting out of the UK.
Gosh, that's very interesting.
It's interesting. But anyway, back to the dresses.
Yeah, we want people to text in about their favourite dress. 083 333 975. These are the dresses from the Oscars, and we didn't cover it yesterday because we had all the candidates, successful TDs in talking to us, but we wanted to cover it, and they're really in the papers now today. So tell us first, let's talk about Saoirse's dress first, because a lot of people, Irish people especially, were thinking about Saoirse.
Do you know, I have a few, I brought a few pictures with us. We were discussing it in the shop this morning about our favourite looks, and I always be at pains to kind of, say that somebody's dress wasn't nice, but I knew it would come up. So the colour combination we thought in Red Lane wasn't great. They're from two different colour palettes. Definitely the black and cream works, the blue is nice, but we didn't think they were a nice combination, to be honest with you. It's a peplum style, which is great, bring it back to the shop floor. It's great. A peplum style is great for anybody who's conscious of their tum or anything like that. It's a great shape, but for us, we didn't think the colour combination was great.
What do you think worked really well?
Our favourite one was definitely Charlize Theron in the Oscar de la Renta. We thought the shape, the colour, the style, everything was beautiful.
So it was a black dress?
No, it's champagne.
Champagne, sorry, I know. I'm looking at another one with her. Champagne dress, yes.
The chains across the top.
Fabulous.
So, symmetry is very pleasing to the eye. It's been scientifically proven. So, like when we're dressing somebody in the shop, we'd always be looking for an hourglass. So if you're pear-shaped, we'd looking to balance it out by maybe adding to the shoulders, which this Molly Sims I have here, her dress was quite poofy on the bottom, and you can see there on the shoulder the way they've balanced it out with, a little bit of
there's only certain people could carry that dress off in terms of their physique as well.
Well, if you bring it back to the shop floor, you've got a nice cinched in waistline, you've added to the hips and you've added to the shoulders, so that is actually an hourglass. That's why it looks so nice. Are you following, Damien?
I am. Yeah, no, I am 100%. Yeah, no, when I was in college, I actually was sharing an apartment with a guy who was big into, he was actually studying in the National College of Design in Dublin, and we used to talk about dresses and used to bring in Vogue magazines every month and go through them and talk about it. So I have a bit of knowledge about it in terms of...
Actually, everybody working in Red Lane is a qualified stylist, and we do, as part of that training, it's body shape analysis. So if you're wider on the shoulders, it's quite simple. We do have some little tips and tricks, but if you're wider on the shoulders, you'd add to the hips. All you're trying to do is create an hourglass, and start with that and go from there. And that's why all of everybody's favourites, it's because they're symmetrical, because they're hourglass shaped, and that's what the eye likes.
Tell me about who made a complete bags of things.
Oh. I think a lot of people just like to make a statement, don't they? They go for the most outlandish looking outfit, just for a bit of notice, as we'd say here in Waterford. We prefer to talk about the nice ones, really, to be honest. Amy.
A lady texted in to say Jane Fonda's dress was fabulous. That was lovely.
I have that
Classy.
one here, actually. Yeah. Jane, that's not the first time Jane wore that dress, and that's why I brought this one, because, when people come into us looking for a new dress, they may have something in their wardrobe that they could reuse, by maybe adding different accessories. So I'd always say, now maybe it's not a great business move, but, before you go out looking for a new dress, have a look in your wardrobe. See, is there something there that you wore before that you felt amazing in? Maybe you could change it up with different shoes, different bags, and save yourself a few bob.
What is, if people are thinking of dresses now for the wedding season ahead, what styles are coming out there? We'll see a 2-page spread in the Mail today talking about the sleeveless gowns. Is there a particular style dominating at the present?
They're talking about sleeveless, but Irish women, a lot, not all, but a lot of Irish women who come are certainly our customers who come in, they want to have their arms covered, whether it be a little cap sleeve or down beyond the elbow. But what we did see at the Oscars... It's
very hard to be toned the way they are at the Oscars. Like Laura Dern has a great figure and she's toned. She's working out every day. Yeah. She's a personal, gym instructor.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's not realistic. A lot of our customers who come in, they maybe haven't had an occasion in a long time. They're not happy with their body shape. They've just had a baby, and we need to work around that. What we did see at a lot of the Oscars this year was capes, and it's a nice alternative if you do want to cover your shoulders and arms, maybe to get a cape to go over your dress, or to have a dress with a cape on it, which is a nice alternative.
Other dresses that you think stood out?
We thought Sigourney Weaver was actually, that lady is 70.
She's 70.
She is 70. She looks unreal. Yeah. The green is gorgeous. That Kelly green is actually a favourite. We have it year on year. It never goes out. But I think if you bring it back to Waterford, you need to dress for your body shape. You need to go into your local boutique. We've great boutiques here in Waterford, Muse, Janelle, The Hanger, Orchid. Go in. We're dressing people all day, every day. We know that a lot of ladies aren't happy with their body shape. Come in and let us dress you.
Catherine, thanks very much.
You're so welcome.
Have you got a favourite dress at the minute? If you were to go home now tonight and said, right, we're going out at the weekend, or somebody's going out, what would you...
Well, I think any of these Oscar dresses would be out of place in the Vic and Tramore, but...
Not at all.
But definitely, I think this year for weddings, communions, confirmations, floral is huge. The midi dress is huge. Still, again this year, that 50s style. It's a great shape on a lot, but if you're a little bit shorter, it mightn't suit you. But throw on a heel and you'll be grand.
Catherine, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Hello to all your staff and everybody out in Red Lane and all the women that model for you as well. I hope they're all well, and men. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Damien.
Thank you. Now, still dozens of texts coming in about the interview with David Cullinan, left, right and centre. In all honesty, said this person, is what David said any worse than any of the celebrations the government wanted for the Black and Tans? Other people saying that they'll say up their different things and it's no big deal. Others being quite critical of people, especially elected politicians, that say it at particular occasions, and others saying about disappointment. Others texting in about some stuff that was on Facebook there yesterday, and we will see if we can come to that later on in the programme. If not, we'll try and do something on it tomorrow. Damien, you big girl's blouse, you, says Frank. Thanks very much, Frank. Kathy here, a stylist in West Waterford. I'm a follower of the Red Lane Boutique in Tramore for many years. Fabulous and alluring clothes. Congratulations, Catherine, on your great choice of clothes. Thank you very much for that text. That is from Kathy over in West Waterford. I'm now going to talk to Donal Murphy. Donal, good morning.
Morning, Damien.
Thanks very much for joining us. Do you want to talk about the dresses at the Oscars, Donal?
Well, that wouldn't be my first day. Maybe you should talk to my wife on that. I would know anything about them things.
Yeah, the line is fairly bad. Maybe you can just get into a better area there. I know the signal in Dunhill, you could do with a better signal up there, couldn't you?
No. The signal should be good.
Okay, we'll go ahead and fire ahead and see how we get on. There's a talk on this evening. John Lonergan, the former head, I suppose, the governor of Mountjoy Prison, is coming to talk to a community alert group that you're involved with in Dunhill. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm chairperson of the group here for the last number of years, and I had the privilege, I suppose, I would say, of attending a talk he gave with the Kilmeaden people, Ballyduff, Kilmeaden last year. And I thought his talk was absolutely excellent. Maybe I would encourage as many people as could to come to Dunhill tonight. We have room for 150 people in the developed hall, and John Lonergan he gives a fantastic talk, and his talk about Ballyduff last year was when he went through his time as governor, but he also gave a very good talk on we won't call it the addiction that young children have on tablets and internet and the whole lot. And excellent, wonderful talk, and he goes on for. He could go on for 2 hours if he left. But I'm just trying to encourage people to come to Dunhill tonight. That's all I will say.
Yeah, no, very much so. And I'll give the full information there now in a second. A message just came into us there. There's a crash on the N25 on the Dungarvan Waterford Road, just on the straight from Lemmybrine to Kilmac. Traffic is building up there. I'm sure there'll be massive delays. So if you're heading out that direction, or if you're travelling between Dungarvan and Waterford, be aware of that between Lemmybrine and Kilmac. What time is the talk on, Donal, and where is it on?
We'll kick it off at 8 o'clock. We're kicking off at turning the bar at 8 o'clock, and we'll do the business of what has been done from RGM. It won't take too long, and I hope to have John Lonergan doing his business at 8:30, and we'll take it from there.
And where is it?
In the community hall, in the redeveloped community hall that was opened just long as 12 months ago after we spent $350,000. A lovely, comfortable venue, and everyone will have a comfortable chair, and we give them a cup of tea after. So there's no
Super.
Not to come. I know the weather is not it. This morning when we came out at 8 o'clock or 7:30, the place was half white. Maybe getting a bit worried, but I think we'll escape the snow, and we don't want the snow. So all I can say to you is thanks for the opportunity to do a little publicity on this for me. I know that you have been busy with politics, but this is the no-show politics game. So
super. Well, Donal, listen, thanks very much. So that's 8 o'clock tonight in the community centre in Dunhill, as you say, renovated to a beautiful, beautiful renovation, and well done to everybody concerned. And that's that talk by John Lonergan. And good luck with everybody involved in the community alert, Donal.
Thank you very much, Damien. Thanks for the help.
Thank you very much. Donal Murphy there talking from Dunhill. So it's an open invitation tonight if anybody wants to hear John Lonergan tonight. And the weather, looking at present, it looks like the snow showers will leave over the next few hours. So any showers that have out there, any snow that was falling or sleet that was falling earlier hasn't stuck in the city. I know there's some people texting from Ballymacarbery and Lismore saying that there has been a lot of snow in those areas, and some roads are still quite dangerous. Damien, will you be talking to Mary Butler about comments on Facebook? We've given Mary a quick ring, and she's coming back to us at some stage, whether it's going to be later on today or later on tomorrow. I know she put up something last night saying she believed her account had been hacked in some respect, so we're just looking for clarification on that. A lot of people texting in about that, and certainly we have and we will do stories on everything that is valid from a news perspective and a current affairs perspective. We don't shy away from covering any stories. We're not one bit biased here on this in any respect whatsoever. So people will see, we'll cover stories if we can cover them in such a way that is fair to everybody. So stay with us. We are going to be talking to David Hayes shortly about his dad Dick, and we're also going to be hearing first of our business matters. The fabulous business awards are going to be coming up soon, and Karen Tompkins is going to be talking to some really inspirational business people in Waterford. Now keep your texts and your comments coming in 083 3333 975. As I say, I'll try to get to as many of them as I can throughout the programme. We have had a phenomenal response to the story this morning and the interview with David Cullinan. Patricia's texted in, Damien, great show as usual, great result for David Cullinan, and yes, credit where credit's due, and I said that yesterday and today, 20,000 votes, phenomenal result. In light of his comments, says Patricia, I'm concerned about how our integrity as the country is viewed abroad. It would be dreadful if these comments are seen as a step backwards. We have to move forwards. Yes, Patricia, that's exactly what David Cullinan said. He says that it's comments were said, he's moved on, and that's what he is saying. Other people are saying, great interview with David this morning. Damien, well done. Hard questions which were answered by David and explained in context. Time to focus on the real issue, forming a government. And you'll notice from the interview I did with David this morning, we started with the formation of the government. To me, that is the most important thing, and that's what we started with. And yet we had to answer the issues and the news story that is there at present. Now, other people have texted in about the dresses, so we want to hear what your favourite dress is as well. Let us know, please. Some beautiful snow on the mountains, and the mountains look great this morning, says this texter. Now, the 39 of Waterford's top businesses have been shortlisted for the 6th Annual Waterford Business Awards. It's organised with Waterford Chamber. We're joining again forces, WLR here with Dungarvan and West Waterford Chamber and Waterford Chamber. There's a gala award ceremony taking place on Friday, the February 28th. So between now and every day, we're going to be playing a little bit of, I suppose, a synopsis of some of the great businesses that are involved. This morning, we're looking at corporate social responsibility. And Karen Tompkins, who you know from this parish, and she does news reports as well, she has been talking to a number of people who are involved in the Excellence in Corporate Social Responsibility category, featuring Quish's SuperValue Tramore, Dawn Meats and Tom Murphy Car Sales. Karen has been meeting some of the contenders.
The Excellence in Corporate Social Responsibility category is sponsored by Morgan McKinley. First in the category is Quish's SuperValue. This is a multi-award-winning family business trading in Tramore for 24 years. The group is owned and operated by the Quish family and are specialists in fresh food. The company employs over 250 people, 80 in Tramore. Cormac Quish says that supporting communities is at the heart of the Quish's ethos.
Without our customers and without the support we receive from Tramore, there'd be no business there. We're extremely grateful to the people of Tramore. It's been great for us, and we hope that we've been able to contribute to the people in Tramore over the last 24 years. For example, this year we got the post office up onto our site. You know, we'd heard I would be friendly with Sean and Olive Martin, the postmaster and postmistress in the town. We heard they wanted to move, and we were worried that the town centre would lose that. So we did everything we could, and we worked with them. We got them up onto our site into a brand new facility, and it's going really well for them, and you know, it's helping out ourselves and the town, we hope.
Quish's SuperValue have won multiple awards, including the Local Champion Award last year for supporting local suppliers in Tramore. They're the main club sponsor of Tramore GAA for more than 10 years, sponsor of Tramore Tidy Towns, and a supporter of many smaller local charities and clubs.
We're delighted to be nominated for this award because we put a lot of energy into corporate social responsibility projects in Tramore and all across the group. We do as much as we can to invest in and support clubs and groups in the town to develop children and to develop, you know, healthy habits among adults as well. One of our biggest ones would be our support for the GAA club. So we're over 10 years as the main club sponsor. They're a great club. They've huge membership, and they're doing great things to develop healthy habits in kids and fighting obesity and tackling, you know, giving kids discipline as well and training and success. So over the last 10 years, we've certainly given a huge amount of money to them directly, as well as bag packs and flag days. It's well into the six figures We're very closely connected to Tidy Towns. We sponsor them financially, and one of our senior managers in the store, Anne Chasty, is running Tidy Towns and doing a fantastic job. The war against plastic is the big thing facing us in our industry, and we're getting told by customers that's what they want to see. So we're making a conscious effort to steer away from single-use plastic as much as we can. We were the first retailer to bring in the compostable bag for life, which we have in our store, which you can buy. So it's a bag for life, but when you're finished with it, it'll compost in your compost bin. We've moved away in fruit and veg. We're trying to get into as much loose product as possible. If people want to follow us on our Facebook page, they can see the pictures that we'll be putting up of plastic-free areas and compostable bags. And, that's a big thing for us as well. That's part of our corporate social responsibility, we feel.
Next is Dawn Meats, which was established in County Waterford in 1980. Dawn Meats exports to over 50 countries worldwide, supplying major retailers, manufacturers and food service operators across the globe. Group Development Manager Paul Nolan says that as a family-owned and managed company, Dawn Meats has a real sense of place in the community.
There's a responsibility on companies and business to put something back into their community, basically, if they're lucky enough to be in a position to do so. And I think it's something that, if it never had such a grand title, to be fair to Irish companies, has been happening for a long, long time. And in our case, we certainly have adapted it right centre as part of our, if you like, our business plans, because it's terribly important to us. There are kind of three planks. The farming is one. If you take the second one, which is looking after the local habitats, we have developed a wetland at the back of our factory where we're actually able to clean some processed water through a very natural system. And if people are interested in learning more about that, they can actually see it on the greenway as they pass by at Carroll's Cross, Kilmacthomas. And I suppose the third part is really about looking after putting something back into the community. So that's a two-way street. One is, if we mobilise, we feel, our staff to represent us and to do things that are good for the community. We've done things like, for example, been involved in the Viking Marathon for raising money for hospice. We've also been involved in various initiatives such as the Solace Walk, the Dancing for Solace, the film making and so on, where again people from the company come forward in particular areas where they feel they have something that they can contribute, and they, and I suppose the company at the end of the day, get a bit of kudos, but most importantly the people at the receiving end are getting something good from businesses like ours in the community.
Dawn Meats have a proud tradition of support for charities and giving back to the communities where they operate. It brings a sense of achievement and pride to their workplaces.
Oh yeah, I mean the buzz is great, and outside now with us, obviously people are aware that we've been shortlisted and they're eagerly awaiting the outcomes. We have been very fortunate to win a number of awards in this category already in different fora, but to win it locally, if we could, would be just the icing on the cake. So we're really looking forward to it.
Founded in 1979, Tom Murphy Car Sales enjoyed 26 years of business in Ballybricken at the heart of Waterford City before moving to a purpose-built facility on the Cork Road. Still very much at the heart of the city, owner Tom Murphy explains the importance of corporate social responsibility.
I guess it's got to do with our involvement in the clean-up of the litter clean-up that we did for the last two summers in association with 8 wonderful clubs locally. The one that stood out, and it's very hard to pick anyone, but St Saviour's in Ballybeg had over 50 volunteers on both nights. Now, all of the other clubs were fantastic, but this one stands out, and I hope the other clubs don't mind me saying that. They were really superb. I really feel passionate about the clean-up because it was a motor dealer called Tom Kavanagh from Moy that started Irish Business Against Litter. And he was a wonderful man. He was ahead of his time in everything that he did. And I would love, my dearest wish for 19 outside of my business would be, and indeed my family, would be that if Waterford City would firstly win the All-Ireland and secondly get back our place in the Irish Business Against Litter. I go to work most mornings around 8:10, and you'd see the guys from the council picking along the side of the roads. I drive out by the Cork Road, out by Old Water Crystal, and they're on that road every day, picking up litter. And, it has improved a lot, but I guess obviously we must have slipped back a bit. But they say in racing terms, don't tear up your toe tickets yet. We could get back again this year. Waste of everything is such a sin. I mean, we have like waste oil, tyres, battery acid brake fluid, all of those things. And I can lie in my bed at night and be confident that they're all disposed of properly. And in fairness to all of the motor dealer colleagues in this city, in fairness to all of them, I don't know of any place where you'll see scrap cars and tyres and a lot of stuff thrown around the place. I think that our industry is a very responsible industry.
He's a passionate Waterford man and sees the importance of giving back to the community.
This is why we took on, in association with the City Council, and indeed last year the Granville Hotel came on board with us. And we gave between the Granville Hotel and ourselves a set of jerseys to each of the participating clubs, which was really meant an awful lot to the clubs concerned, because if they went out to buy them, including VAT, they cost about 600 euros. I have a long involvement. We have sponsored the Dunhill Club, where I come from. We've sponsored, I think this year is our 41st year sponsoring in Dunhill Squash Club. We have a good bit on. I have 4 grandchildren in Waterford and 1 in Galway, and we regularly are asked to support different clubs, and we do the best we can. I mean, we get requests every day. I like to think that would be regarded as generous. I also have a slight involvement in Club Deise, and I've gotten a good few corporate members for Club Deise over the years. It's time for me to give something back to Waterford City. It's been very good to me. I'm 50. This is my 52nd year working in Waterford City, 42 of which I'm working for myself. I love this city and everything it does. I love everything about it.
And the winner in the Corporate Social Responsibility category will be announced on Friday, February 28th at the Waterford Business Awards.
Lovely report there from Karen. Thank you very much, Karen Tompkins, for that. You heard Super Value in Tramore, Quisha Super Value, Dawn Meats and Tom Murphy car sales. We'll have more tomorrow. Now, David Hayes is in studio. How are you, David?
I'm good.
All things considered.
Yeah,
I know.
We're doing well, day by day.
Yeah, we'll talk to you now in a minute, and we'll have a nice little chat, and it'll be lovely, because what we try to do on the programme is a nice mixture of different things, and we'll move away from the heavy politics now for a little while. And Greg will be delighted, because he says, Damien, can you move on now? The people have spoken, nothing has changed. I have more respect for David sticking to his guns rather than crumbling under media pressure. He'll be a great voice for Waterford, and I'm excited for our future here. That's from Greg. You've brought in 2 CDs. They're called Dick Hayes, Memories, The Songbook Legacy. Dick Hayes, Memories, The Songbook Legacy. If you want to win a copy of one of these new CDs, which haven't even been launched, text us in the name Dick, D-I-C-K, to 083 333 975. Text in Dick or Dick Hayes, whatever you want to. Dick Hayes, 083 333 975, or you can give a phone number. You can ring into 051 846 123. 051 846 123, because I know some people don't like texting in. Let's play a little bit of Dick Hayes now. This is the moment. We are going to be talking to David about this man's amazing life and career in the next few minutes. Now, as I say, if you want to text in the word Dick, D-I-C-K, or Dick Hayes, H-A-Y-E-S, text in, please, 083 333 975, or you can call Lauren on 051 846 123. We forgot to tell Lauren we were doing this competition, so there's calls coming in now and debate the band. We've already had, I think, there's 100 texts come in already. This is some response. Dick Hayes, Memories, Songbook Legacy is just going to be launched. I'm joined by one of his sons, David. This is a memoriam, I suppose, a collection of songs, 28 songs.
28 songs, yeah.
Of the much-loved entertainer who died on St. Stephen's Day.
Unfortunately, yeah. So the CD came about. There were so many people asked us over the period of time since Dad passed, had we got material and stuff, had we songs and stuff. So we decided to do this. So it's a collection of songs that Dad had recorded but were never released.
Have these never been released?
The one CD of this, well, the majority haven't been released.
Wow, yeah.
So we decided to do it from his little Lenny Davis days, so we had the recordings of those. And so it's spanning his whole life up to the very last song he recorded with me, which was If I Never Sing Another Song. You know, it's ironic, the last song he recorded is If I Never Sing Another Song. So it's the only song he never got to hear finished. And myself and Richie actually finished that song 2 weeks after he passed away. So that one is kind of very close to my heart anyway. But it covers his whole lifespan of all the people he played with. There's old recordings of the James Connolly we remastered.
I see that 1978 final recording.
Done with the late Plus, who passed away. Mick Plus was on that one. So what we tried to do was get recordings that had a lot of musicians that he played with over the years, and we've managed to do that because there's an old recording that somebody put up on YouTube there of Dad in the Kickham's Inn in '83.
See that?
I don't know who actually done it, so whoever done that, we're very thankful.
Is that
to
the
them.
Fields of Athenry or the
So we
Croppy
took
Boy?
4
The two of them
tracks
for that,
from that.
Pool of Vogue and Noreen Bawn.
Yeah, and they were some of Dad's big ballads during the earlier days.
As she's walking away, the duet with Richie. We've got duet with John. This is the moment. We have Dick Dave coming to America.
They were the days of we put that on because we were trying to, big moments during Dad's and that was 94 in the Majestic, because we'd done residency in the Majestic for 11, 12 years. And Dad,
11 or 12 years,
yeah, that used to be mega out there. And
Listen to the Ocean duet with Nancy.
That was done with Mam, yeah. And actually, this is the moment that's on the CD. John had never sung that with him. So what we done was we recorded John singing, and we were able to mix the two together to include John singing it with him. So we think we covered a lot of the songs that people would have been requesting, you know.
I know that this is going to be one of the biggest selling CDs in Waterford, but probably the southeast, and it'll travel as well. There'll people buy this and they'll send it.
Well, it's gone already to America, Wales, England, France, Australia already. And I said it's not done as a big sales product for us at all. It was by request from people, and we felt we needed to do something anyway too.
Where is it going to be on sale, David?
It's in Rainbow Records, and it's on sale in Alfie's on Ballybricken, because we played there every Thursday and Sunday. And for Dad, that was his, as we used to call it, he was in the sitting room with everybody on a Thursday. It was a real, family atmosphere there, and still is. We're trying to keep that going.
We've had a few texts in from Dungarvan. Would you maybe try to organise a sales place in Dungarvan?
I will. I'll certainly do that. Yeah, we'll organise to get them up to Dungarvan.
Put it out on Facebook or whatever. Yeah.
So, and you can order it online as well if you go to Richie's. RichieHayes.net. There's a facility on that too.
RichieHayes.net to order. And we'll have the winners now in a few minutes of those that texted in. As I say, there's hundreds of texts coming in now. Dick Hayes 083 3333 975. Tony has texted in, an absolute legend. So many people texting in about Dick. How's your mum? How's Nancy?
She's has her good days and bad days. So she's good. She's a very strong woman, and she misses him terrible, because they were together 24/7. And they were married 54 years, so they're together since they were 15. So it's a long time, and especially in this day and age, that's a very long time for people to be together. But he was her soulmate. They were each other's soulmates, and they'd done everything together, so she misses him terrible, yeah. Is that
she's getting, at the minute and up since St. Stephen's Day, so many people calling, so many letters in the post. So that's keeping her busy maybe in some respect.
It is. We haven't got we'll thank everybody for their support. The support during the funeral and over that period of time from the public has been just phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
Oh, it really was. And it kept us going, and still keeping us going. And as I said, even before I left the house, I'm staying with Mam at the moment, but there were still letters coming this morning from America.
Wow.
So we haven't got to reply to people yet, so it's going to take a while, because there's so many letters and cards, and it's just been phenomenal. We never expected. We knew Dad was popular, all right, but we never expected the outpouring that we're getting,
I was talking to John on the day itself, and He's just crying on the phone. It was just so sudden in terms of the heart. And then Richie's been on from America, and obviously the family is, you're supporting each other.
We are. We're very supportive. We're always very close, you know. And it was great for Dad, really, because he was involved in all our lives, really. You know, he toured with Richie, and then in the later years when I joined Richie, he toured with both of us. And then with John with the carving, he got to see all John's work. You know, and the big one for me was, so thanks to the Peace Choir, was the Aviva Stadium, where he got to sing the national anthem with the choir, 40,000 people, and he was like a child that day going out onto the pitch. So we included him in everything that we could possibly, you know, because he loved people. He loved talking to people. As John said at the Mass, that you lost an hour of your day if you met him, you know. But he just loved talking to people, and even when I'd be gigging with him, I'd be after packing up the gear, and I'd be after loading the car, and I'd go back in, you ready? And he was like the Pope, as I say. He'd have to talk to everybody coming out, and he wouldn't know a lot of these people, but he always went around to people and did you enjoy the night, you know, where you're from, and he'd tell everyone about the sword with John, and he just loved promoting Waterford as well, you know. He really did. He was a real Waterford person.
Yeah.
And
that's been reflected since, and as you say, the funeral was phenomenal, and that the eulogies were lovely, and the support, and just the marching behind the music, and
just
walking behind the music.
The musicians that turned out for the funeral, you know, they were all top musicians, you know, and there was no hesitation in those people turning up. The Barrack Street Band, you know, he was more or less a member of the band for years, and he had travelled to France with the band several times, and so he would have been so honoured to have the band play there, and from the family, just to thank the band and to thank everybody, the public. You know, we play in pubs and we play in hotels and functions, but unless the public are there supporting you, there's no point in us being there. And we've been very, very lucky over all the years to have great support from the public and people coming to hear.
You've also had great support because you're very good, and Dick was really good.
Yeah, he never taught that, though.
No,
he was
but
never
he was
that
a really
type of
good
person,
musician.
you know.
He kept it really tight. He was on time. The beat was. He was a really good musician.
Yeah, he could sing. Like, people often said to me over the years, you know, you're still playing with your dad. Why didn't you go and do your own thing? And I never felt I needed to, you know. I had been lucky, and I've played with a lot of people over the years, you know, and I had played with Tony and toured with Tony Kenny, and I had played with Sonny at times, but I never felt any different playing with those people and playing with Dad. You know, he could stand up. He sang as well as any of those people. Yeah. He was just unlucky at the timing of his career, but you know, he had a great career when you go back to when he first won the competition in England as little Lenny Davis, and that developed, and unfortunately he came home, but he still joined the show band show, and you know, he sang up to his last days. You know, there's people have good careers but they finish early, but Dad sang up to the very last day, and he was still singing to, you know, decent audiences, and he just loved it. He'd sing to 2 people, he'd sing to, you know, 22 people. It didn't matter. He'd sing. Dad would sing at the drop of a hat.
And the winners, thanks so many people for texting in. Thank you so much. Sheila Drone from Keens Road, she rang in, and Mary O'Brien from Portlaw texted in. So we've our 2 winners there. 2 copies of the CD, 1 each to give out. We'll sort out how we'll get them to you, whether you can come in and get them. What we'll do as well is we'll copy the CD onto our playlist here, and we'll get Jeff to be playing it during the day, and as we go, and we'll mention again. So Rainbow Records,
they're in
Hales,
Alfie Hales. They're also in Wama on the Dunmore Road, that might suit some people on that side.
And what are they retailing at?
They're €20.
20 euros.
It's a double CD, and also inside there's a collage, a booklet of all the photographs of all the different places and over the years. So as I said, it's
Oh no, it's fabulous.
really,
It's really going to, and we're going to play now. We're going to play Let Me Try Again in a minute. What do you miss most about him?
oh well, I miss his voice, but see, myself and Dad been together. I'm playing with him 40 years since I was 9 in the Sally Tavern days and Blackwater Tavern and the Tower Hotel, and we were like brothers, you know. It wasn't a father and son situation, you know, and I really enjoyed. I miss the big ballads, you know. I miss playing those big ballads with him. I'm getting a bit caught up here now, but and that was the thing, you know. We could always. I knew playing with Dad that, you know, if you were playing to an audience that didn't know you, I knew at any stage that he's going to pull one out of the bag now. And you could see people suddenly looking around and going, oh, because you'd be doing the normal stuff, and then he'd decide to do one of the, you know, the big Sinatra numbers or big one. And I used to love that because I could see. And I was always behind him. He always stood in front of me.
You could see the audience reaction.
And just to see that reaction, and that's what I miss, you know.
What we hope to do as well, David, as I said to you, we'd love to do a special tribute programme to him over the summer.
Yeah.
We'll work with you on that and try and work together. It'd be lovely. And listen, say hello to Nancy for us and to all the families.
And I just do a quick thank you to the staff in the hospital. They were so great. The Barrack Street Band, the Garda on the day were super. Thompsons for looking after the funeral. There's so many people I won't name, but
what we'll do is when we do our tribute, we'll thank everybody as well on that, you know.
And just 2 other people passed away, 2 great musicians as well that I'm going to play for their funerals as well. Bernie Flanagan and Eddie Dre. Just, you know, he got a lot of musicians upstairs in the last couple of months, so just to remember those 2 people as well.
David, thanks so much for coming in.
And thanks for having me.
Not at all,
and
it's
I
a
hope
pleasure.
People enjoy the CD.
They will certainly. Dick Hayes' Memories, the Songbook Legacy. I want to thank Julie for producing this morning. We're not going to play our outro as normal. We're going to go out now on Let Me Try Again by Dick Hayes. Jeff is coming up next. Jeff will be playing some of the music as well throughout the week. Thanks everybody for your interest in the show today. Thank you, David Cullinan, for coming on. Thank you everybody for being a part of the show, and we really appreciate it. Here we go. Let Me Try Again, Dick Hayes. David, thanks.
Thanks, Greg.